Imagine a philosophy that teaches you not to be a puppet to your surroundings, but to master your perception and response to them. This is Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has been gaining traction in our modern world. But why? Well, Stoicism offers us a unique perspective on life, helping us navigate our emotions, our reactions, and our very existence. In a world where we are often at the mercy of external circumstances, Stoicism teaches us to take control. It reminds us that we have the power to shape our perceptions, to choose our responses, to determine our own peace of mind. But Stoicism goes beyond this. It emphasizes the practice of virtues as the key to a fulfilling life. It presents us with four cardinal virtues: wisdom, temperance, justice, and courage. Each virtue is a compass, guiding us through the complexities of life, leading us towards excellence. So, buckle up as we dive into the world of Stoicism and its four cardinal virtues. In the Stoics playbook, wisdom takes the top spot. It's more than a badge of honor, more than a symbol of intellect. In the world of Stoicism, wisdom is a virtue that stands at the core of a fulfilling life. But what exactly does wisdom mean in this context? In the simplest of terms, wisdom is the ability to discern between good and bad, and then act accordingly. It's the clarity of thought that allows us to navigate through the complexities of life, making choices that align with our inner values and principles. But let's dig a little deeper, shall we? You see, wisdom in the Stoic philosophy isn't just about knowing the difference between right and wrong. It's not just about having a vast pool of knowledge. Instead, it's about the application of that knowledge. It's about making decisions that reflect that understanding. It's about discernment, knowing when to act, when to wait, when to speak, and when to remain silent. Think of wisdom as a compass, guiding us through the labyrinth of life. It helps us steer clear of the pitfalls of poor decisions and navigate our way towards actions that are truly in our best interest. It's the light that illuminates the path of virtue, helping us to see clearly, even in the darkest of times. Moreover, wisdom isn't a destination, but a journey. It's a continuous process of learning, unlearning, and relearning. It's about growing and evolving, about becoming better versions of ourselves. It's about striving for excellence, not perfection. In the grand scheme of things, wisdom is about understanding the impermanence of external circumstances and focusing on what we can control: our perceptions, our reactions, our actions. It's about cultivating inner peace amidst the chaos of the outer world. So how do we cultivate this wisdom? By practicing mindfulness, by seeking knowledge, by questioning our beliefs, by embracing change, by learning from our mistakes, and most importantly, by living in accordance with our values. Remember, wisdom is not just about knowing, it's about doing the right thing. It's about living a life of virtue, a life that is not swayed by external circumstances, but guided by inner clarity and conviction. Moving on to the second virtue, we talk about temperance, the art of self-control. Now, what does temperance mean in the context of Stoicism? Well, it's not about denying yourself pleasures or living a life of austerity. Instead, it's about understanding your desires, acknowledging them, and then choosing not to be controlled by them. You see, Stoics understood that our desires and passions could be powerful forces. They can drive us to achieve great things, but they can also lead us astray, causing us to make choices that aren't in our best interest. That's where temperance comes in. It's the practice of exercising restraint, of knowing when to say enough, and of not letting our desires dictate our actions. Temperance is about moderation, the idea that there's a middle ground between excess and deficiency. It's about understanding that too much of anything, even a good thing, can be harmful. For instance, food is necessary for survival, but too much can lead to health issues. Similarly, ambition can lead to success, but unchecked, it can also lead to burnout and stress. It's also about self-control, the ability to resist immediate gratification in favor of long-term benefits. It's about being able to say no to that extra piece of cake, not because you're denying yourself pleasure, but because you're choosing your health. It's about deciding not to binge watch that new series, not because you don't want to, but because you have other priorities. But temperance isn't about perfection. It's about striving for balance, for that sweet spot between indulgence and abstinence. It's about making conscious choices, being mindful of your actions, and recognizing when you're veering towards extremes. And this balance, this moderation and self-control can bring about peace. When you're not constantly swayed by your desires. When you're not always chasing after the next big thing, you can find contentment in the here and now. You can appreciate what you have rather than always wanting more. Temperance, my friends, is the key to balance in life. And in that balance, you can find a sense of calm, a sense of satisfaction, and ultimately a sense of fulfillment. Hey there, are you enjoying the video? It's great to have you along on this voyage of discovery into the world of Stoicism. If you're finding this content valuable and would like to continue exploring fascinating topics like this with us, consider subscribing to our channel. It's just a click away and it helps us to keep sharing these enlightening journeys with you. Also, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the virtues of Stoicism, don't forget to hit the like button. Your support inspires us to keep creating content that adds value to your life. Next up on our list is justice, a virtue that transcends legality. You see, when we talk about justice in the context of Stoicism, we're not just talking about the law or the courts. No, the Stoic sense of justice goes much deeper than that. It delves into the realm of moral goodness and the inherent fairness that should guide our interactions with others. In the world of Stoicism, justice is about recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings. It's about understanding that we're all part of this complex tapestry of existence, and our actions, big or small, can impact others in ways we might not even realize. It's about treating others with fairness, respect, and kindness. Not because the law tells us to, but because it's the right thing to do. But let's face it, fairness and respect can sometimes be challenging to uphold. It's easy to treat people fairly when they're treating us fairly, right? But what about when they're not? Stoicism teaches us that real justice is about maintaining our commitment to fairness and respect, even when it's difficult, even when it's easier to retaliate or to hold a grudge. Remember, Stoicism isn't about being passive. It's about being active in our pursuit of virtue. So when we talk about justice, we're talking about actively striving to treat others with fairness, kindness, and respect, regardless of how they're treating us. It's about standing up for what's right and doing our part to create a more just world. Stoicism also encourages us to reflect on our actions and behaviors continuously. Are we treating people fairly? Are we acting with kindness and respect? Are we standing up for what's right? If not, then we have some work to do. Justice, in the Stoic sense, isn't something that's given to us. It's something we have to actively pursue. It's a journey, not a destination. And it's a journey that's worth taking. Because when we strive for justice, we're not just making the world a better place, we're becoming better versions of ourselves. Justice, as per Stoicism, is about doing the right thing, not just legally, but morally too. The final virtue we're discussing today is courage, the ability to resist pain and discomfort. Courage in the context of Stoicism is not just about the bravery we associate with heroes in epic tales. It's about everyday bravery, the courage to face the trials and tribulations life throws at us and standing tall in the face of adversity. Let's make it clear. Stoic courage isn't about being fearless. It's about acknowledging fear, recognizing it, and then taking action despite it. It's about facing the storm, not because you're not afraid, but because you know it's the right thing to do. It's the courage to say no when it's easier to say yes. The courage to stand up for what is right, even when you're standing alone. It's the courage to endure pain and discomfort, to keep going when you'd rather stop. Consider this. It's the middle of the night and you're warm in your bed. Your alarm goes off, signaling it's time for that early morning run you promised yourself. It's cold outside and you're tired. That's where Stoic courage comes in. It's the courage to get out of bed, face the cold, and go for that run. It's not about the absence of discomfort, but about taking action despite it. And it's not just about physical discomfort. It's also about emotional discomfort. It's the courage to face rejection, to face failure, to face loss. It's the courage to keep going, to keep striving, to keep growing, even when it's hard. It's the courage to face your fears, to step out of your comfort zone and to challenge yourself. It's about resilience in the face of adversity. It's about being brave enough to live in accordance with your values, no matter what. Remember, in Stoicism, courage is not a feeling, but an action. It's not about feeling brave, but about acting bravely. It's about facing fear, resisting pain and discomfort and acting despite adversities. Courage, in the Stoic sense, is about action in the face of fear. It's about being brave enough to live a life in accordance with your principles, even when it's tough. That, my friends, is the essence of Stoic courage. So, there we have it. The philosophy of Stoicism and its 4 cardinal virtues. We've journeyed through the wisdom of discerning good from bad and acting accordingly. We've explored temperance, the art of moderation and self-control. We've delved into justice, not just in terms of legality, but also moral goodness. And lastly, we've understood courage, the ability to resist pain and discomfort and to act in the face of fear. These virtues, when embraced, can lead to a life that is not just lived, but truly experienced. A life where you control your perceptions and reactions to external circumstances. A life where virtue is not just a concept, but a practice. A life that is fulfilling, not because of what it contains, but because of how you navigate it. Embrace the Stoic way of life and you'll find a path to a fulfilling life. If you enjoyed this dive into Stoicism, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like.